Hey everyone, welcome to the Digging Deeper section. So I'm just going to keep talking about different denominations and individuals having different perspectives on who God is and how that can be beneficial. So yeah, just to clarify what I was saying in the main vlog there can be definite weaknesses and problems with us having different denominations. I'm not trying to say that denominations are all good. However, I am trying to, for the time being at least, maybe point out some of the positive aspects. And we'll get to the negatives in future vlogs. But for now, I'm just trying to point out the positive that no one knowing the complete and full truth actually brings us together, as long as we have the humility to be willing to come together. So to switch metaphors from the one I was using in the main vlog, there's a fairly well-known parable about some blind men stumbling upon an elephant, and in the parable these men have supposedly never heard of an elephant before. They've had no prior experience with an elephant, so they don't know what it is, and they go to different places of the elephant. And so one man goes to the tusks and he says, oh, elephants are these kind of rigid, pointy animals. And another man goes to the trunk and says, no, elephants are these, cylindrical animals that make blowing noises. And another man goes to the tail of the elephant and he says, no, elephants are these sort of thin, furry creatures, and so on. And there's more men that go to different parts of the elephant's body, and they're all disagreeing on what an elephant is. And of course the moral of the story is that the elephant isn't any one of those things only, it is a combination of all those things. So if all the men just sort of combine their knowledge together, they would get a complete picture of who or what an elephant is. And so to apply that to Christianity and theology now, it's the same thing where it's not always a matter of saying, and in fact it's probably rarely a matter of saying, I'm right, you're wrong, you're 100% wrong and I'm 100% right. It's more a matter of saying, we're probably all right in certain areas and we're all wrong in certain areas. And so that's why we need to come together, because you probably have some certain areas that you're right in that I'm wrong in. And so we can help each other and together come closer to the truth and come closer to who God actually is. And just to provide a quick clarification, I think sometimes we can be benefited by the theology of another group without accepting every single detail of their theology. So for example, there's a lot of things I disagree with Calvinists on when it comes to their understanding of the sovereignty of God and his sort of utter control over every event that happens. I disagree with many of the specific points of that. However, there have been definite points in my life where I've actually been blessed and I've appreciated being reminded that God is sovereign. Maybe not in the way that they say exactly, but nonetheless he is sovereign. Where the theology that I come from has a heavy emphasis on human free will, and the tendency there is to put too much of an emphasis on human free will, to the point where the world just becomes this place that is entirely run by humans, and the action of God or the role of God is actually kind of pushed out, and it's hard to see what role God even plays in the world anymore. And of course that's wrong too. So the Calvinist view of God's sovereignty can actually be a helpful reminder and supplement, maybe, on my view of God's sovereignty. And so it's not a matter of accepting everything they say, but just sort of taking the gist and maybe taking bits and pieces to add another dimension to this multi-dimensional God that I worship, or to add another color to this multi-colored God that I worship, so to speak. Thank you very much. See you next week.